So I hope that you have seen the questions. The questions were from embedded systems. So we are preparing for the competitive examinations like BEL, EAT examination, bar Refinery training examination, and all other examinations. That is the recruitments which are going to come very soon. Okay. So the questions were from embedded systems. Now we are going to see the solutions one by one. The first question you'll be seeing on the board. Okay. So the question is, which of the following is a design in which both the hardware and software are considered during the design? So in the case of embedded system, unlike the other systems, we know that the design is actually having specific hardware and software, right? So for an embedded system or ES design, you only require the application specific hardware and software. For example, take the case of a printer. We only require the needed hardware for the printing and also the required software. We don't require or we don't put a lot of other softwares and all into the system because it is an embedded system. It is for a specific application. So unlike a general purpose system, embedded systems are application oriented because they will be performing only a specific application. They'll be doing a single application, just like a printer or a washing machine or a camera. They all are made for a single purpose. Okay, so the design is also likewise. It is having only required hardware and the required amount of software. Now here, which of the following is a design in which both hardware and software are considered? During the design phase itself, we are considering both hardware and software. It is called software hardware co-design. That is the design method called C. Okay, next question. The second question. Which activity is concerned with identifying the task at the final embedded system? So the question is asking which activity is identifying the task. I'll read out the options. A, high level transformation. B, compilation. C, scheduling. D, task level concurrency management. So we have all studied a subject called operating systems, or at least you have studied real time operating systems, because we are EC, mostly we'll be studying RTOS only. Okay. So in RTOS, we have seen that the process of assigning of task or identifying the task and assigning them to the processor. So there is a processor which will be processing these tasks T1, T2, T3, likewise. So if this is the processor which is doing all the work, we are going to give the task to the processors one by one. And this process of identifying and arranging of task is called scheduling. Okay. Scheduling. Okay. Correct answer is D. And also I want to tell you that soon we will be starting the sessions on embedded systems. A lot of people has embedded systems to study in their semesters and any of the semesters. And a lot of MTech students are having embedded systems as core subjects. Again, another important thing, embedded systems are very much trending nowadays. A lot of companies is asking for embedded system experience and knowledge. So we'll be starting the embedded system series. That is topic wise we'll be doing. Won't be covering all the unnecessary topics. The necessary, most important topics I'll be making as videos and putting as a separate playlist. Okay. So if you are interested in watching the embedded system subject videos or topic videos, please do subscribe to the channel. Okay. And stay tuned. So correct answer for the second question is D. We are going to see the third question. Third question is, what is an IC that initiate or enable the data transfer on a bus can be regarded as in accordance to I2C protocol specifications. I2C or I2C. I2C is a best protocol. There are two persons or two elements on a bus which are master and slave, right? There is a master slave concept in I2C. There is a master slave concept present. Master and slave. Okay. There are two components or two persons which are using the bus. There is a master and a slave. Now, the question is asking which one of this, that is master or slave, initiate or enable the data transfer. So in I2C, the data transfer is enabled by the master. Master will be instantiating or initiating or enabling the data transfer. Slave will be so the data transfer is enabled or instantiated or it is initiated with the help of a master. Slave will be receiving the data. Okay. So the correct answer is A, best master. Okay. Is the correct answer. Next question. The fourth question. Which development tool or program has a potential to allocate specific address so as to load the object code into the memory? So the question is asking regarding which tool. We know that in designing, that is programming, when we use IDEs, that is integrated development environment, there is a lot of tools, right? There is editor, there is linker, compiler is there, all these things are there. So out of these tools, which of the tool is allocating specific address so as to load the object code into memory? In order to load the object code .obj to the memory, this is the memory, okay? Which tool is being used? So this is the .object file or object code is this, and in order to allocate that to, in order to take that to the memory, which tool is used? A, loader, B, locator, C, library, D, linker. Correct answer is it is a locator. Okay, so in order to locate the object code to the memory, we are using a locator. Okay, next one, next question. So here the correct answer is B. So the object codes are loaded to the memory with the help of a locator. Okay, correct answer is B. Next question. So the function of locator is to allocate a specific address. So it allocates, this locator will locate an address, or it will allocate a specific address so as to load the object to the memory. So we have an object code and we have a memory, and we require some specific address in this memory, right? So we, with the help of a locator, we assign a specific address in the memory and then take this object code to that memory. So which tool is assigning this specific address? It is with the help of a locator. Okay, don't get confused. This locator is actually assigning this specific address. Okay, so the assigning of specific address or locating of a specific address is done with the help of a locator, and then we are loading that object code to the memory at that specific address here. Okay, so the correct answer, anyway, the question was asking regarding allocating of a specific address. It is with the help of a locator, which is option B. Okay, next question. So while we are doing the embedded system courses or embedded system videos, you'll get a very clear idea on what are these elements and what are these tools. Okay, fifth question. The assembler list file generated by the assembler. There is a list file generated by the assembler. So before seeing the list file and all, what is an assembler? We all know that the processors can process only machine language, that is ones and zeros. But sometimes you'll be writing the code in assembly language, like .hex file. Okay. So in order to convert this .hex files into machine code, that is ones and zeros, we require an assembler. Okay. So this is the function of an assembler. And this assembler will be generating a assembler list file. A list file will be generated. Okay. And what all things are present in the list file? That is a question. The options are A, binary codes, B, assembly language statements, C, offset of each instruction, D, all the above. Correct answer is all the above. So the assembler list file will be having all these elements. Okay. Correct answer is D. Next question. That is the sixth question. What are the major form of functionalities associated to high-level language compilers? That is, what are the functions of compilers, high-level language compilers? That is a question. Generation of application program. B. Conversion of generated code from higher language to machine language. C. Both. Okay. So before seeing the question, let us see what is a compiler. Actually, that is a question. So compiler will be, see, we have the languages like C, C++, Java. All these are high-level languages. Okay. And these languages is not understandable to the processor. The processor, as I said in the previous question, it can understand only ones and zeros, and this is called the machine language. Earlier, we used to code in this language, right? But now we are coding in more user-friendly languages or human understandable languages like C, C++, Java. These are called higher-end languages or higher-level programming languages. But the processor, which is going to process all these things, is not understanding this exact version of language. So we have to convert this from human understandable form to the machine understandable form. And in that case, we require a compiler. Earlier, when it was a hex file or when it was assembly language, we used an assembler. But since this is high-level language, we are using a compiler for this conversion. Okay. And what all things the compiler is doing is, it is generating an application program. The compiler will be generating generation of an application program and then convert that to a machine language, machine level language, that is in the form of ones and zeros. So the correct answer is C. Both it is doing. Okay. Next question. Seventh question. Which development tool can facilitate the creation and modification of source programs in addition to assembly and higher level languages? So the question is asking, with the help of which tool we can create and modify the programs, that is assembly program and also high level programs. Options I'll read out. A. Editor. B. Assembler. C. Debugger. High level language compiler. Correct answer it is editor. So along with each IDE is integrated development environment. So IDE means it is actually the combination of all the tools. There is editor, there is compiler, there is linker, locator. All these things are present in IDE. Okay. So in IDE, we have a tool called editor, which is helping us to write the program. So whenever we are operating a new, that is when we are opening a new file to write the program, we're actually opening an editor window. Okay, so this is the editor in which we'll be writing the program, and we also modified it. This whenever we are making some corrections that we will be doing in the editor. Okay, correct answer is C. Next question. That is the 8th question. Programming versions are of greater significance to designers for dash. That is, what is the advantage of EEPROM? Erasable, programmable, read-only memory. That is EEPROM. A. Debug of hardware prototype. B. Debugging of software prototype. C. Loading of programs in microcontroller. D. All the above. That is, we can have a debugging, because EEPROM means we can change the memory. EEPROM, erasable, programmable, row. So you can actually change this memory. So we can have debugging. We can have some changes in the hardware, software. So the memory is changeable. Okay. So we can have all the above. All the options are possible. Loading of program to the microcontroller, everything is possible with the help of a EEPROM. Okay. EEPROM is erasable, programmable, row. So you can write this memory and we can erase the memory with the help of UV rays. We generally use UV rays for erasing of this EEPROM. Okay. So here correct answer is D, all the options. So in this video we have actually seen the questions from embedded systems. The questions were more from the the tools that we use for writing the embedded system code and all those things. In this video, we have seen the questions from embedded systems. The questions were more from the tools that we use for embedded system coding and all those area. So there is 3 videos already in this channel for embedded system itself. There is embedded system interview questions, embedded system interview questions part 2, and also there is a MCQ video on embedded systems where we cover all the basic questions. Okay, so please do watch all the 3 videos and also this video. So I'm really hoping that you'll be getting a very clear idea of some of the concepts at least if you're preparing for some embedded system interviews and all. Okay, so if you found the video useful, please to give it a thumbs up, also share it with your friends, and if you want more videos, please do subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and keep on watching.